Welcome. Great to welcome you here to the first Families Alive Tanner lecture for the spring semester of 2026. My name is Paul Swaneveld. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Child and Family Studies, and I work with Misty Bingham to coordinate and facilitate these presentations and lectures to people on campus and in our community. So we're excited to have you here. We want to thank our sponsors, in particular the O.C. Tanner Corporation that endowed this lectureship. So we're grateful for that. It's my privilege to introduce a friend of mine I've known for years, Dr. Dave Schramm. He likes to be called Dr. Dave. He's an associate professor and family life extension specialist at Utah State University in the Department of Human Development and Family Studies. He holds a PhD from Auburn University and previously worked as a faculty member at the University of Missouri. As a scholar, Dave has published dozens of research articles, extension articles on family issues. Since 2016, Dave has been involved with Utah Marriage Commission, and he frequently appears in media in multiple places to share tips about parenting, family life, well-being, and how couples can thrive on their life journey. So it's an honor to have you here today, and please welcome Dr. Dave.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, a dear friend, Ryan Dunn, another great friend. This is fun to be able to be here. I'm up at Utah State. I've been there. It'll be 10 years this summer. So, who remembers COVID? I know you get it. I get it. You know, you hate talking about COVID. So COVID came around, and we decided we still have to meet as faculty members. I'm an extension specialist, meaning it's a little bit different. I don't just sit in my office and do research and write grants. And so a lot of my job is getting out with extension and taking the research on parenting and happiness and marriage and getting out to people across Utah. So that's what we do as extension specialists. So COVID hit, and it's like, oh man, how do we still get the message out? How do we meet as faculty all across the state? We have specialists in all the counties in Utah. So we would Zoom. How many of you love Zoom meetings? Just nobody, like ever. So we decided to spice things up, and we all had nicknames. We dressed up once a month, so Schramm Dog, because I found out the research in this shows that many people, they tanked during COVID, and some, however, were resilient. And so I'm going to share some happy hacks, some tips. Instead of only just a research-based lecture today, I am going to share hopefully some helpful tips that you can apply in your personal life that will spill over into your life as a student, professionally, in your families, in your future families. So let me start with, this is Harold and Marge. This is one of them is happy. This is back in COVID. How many of you missed out on like trips or vacations or something was canceled during that time? You had something scheduled. Yeah, so Harold and Marge, they had a big trip scheduled to go down to Florida to spend some time. Getting out of Minnesota is where they lived, Minneapolis. So they were going to go down to Florida and spend the week there for their 50th wedding anniversary. It got canceled. So they had to go the following year, but their schedules didn't line up. Harold, he flew in on Friday. Marge is going to fly down on Saturday. They're going to spend a week together in the same hotel as they spent their honeymoon 50 years earlier. So Harold, he flies in on Friday and he checks into the hotel. He's like, man, this place it's changed so much since our honeymoon 50 years ago, 51 years ago. And he sees a little kiosk and he sends his wife an email. Without realizing it, he leaves out one letter in her email. And he hits send. Meanwhile, in Houston, there's a widow who just returned home from her husband's funeral. He was a pastor of the local church. She comes home and she's reading her emails and she sees one. She screams. She passes out. Her son comes rushing into the room. He looks at the screen and it says in the subject line, "I've arrived." It says, "Hello, honey. I know you're surprised to hear from me. They have computers here now. And you're allowed to send emails to your loved ones. I've just arrived and been checked in. I see that everything has been prepared for your arrival tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing you then. Hope your journey is as uneventful as mine was. P.S. It sure is stinking hot down here, honey. Love you, honey. Oh, crud. Yeah, has anyone ever done or said something or sent something? Now you can, delete and retract the messages. But we all do crazy, silly things once in a while, and that's okay. We have to learn to smile and get through life with happiness and positivity. So I'm going to share some things I hope will bring some happiness and positivity into your life. Yeah, it was just like, yay, 2020, and then it was a dinger, wasn't it? This was Matthew McConaughey. He was doing the Lincoln commercials in January, and then by June, he was pretty haggard. This is a selfie in the same car. Yeah. No. Okay, do you remember this? Do you remember going to the store and you saw people from Pirates of the Caribbean and like Star Trek and Star Wars? It was wild. You saw all kinds of crazy outfits. It was wild. Okay, I can't help but think that this Scotch pad, there's got to be more chemicals in that sucker from Ajax and chemicals. She's got it strapped down than anything that she's going to get out in the open there. But man, it was a wild, crazy time. So I'm going to share some hacks. What's a hack? It's a creative solution to a challenge or a problem or a struggle. So, for example, anyone in here twins? Do we have a twin in here? Yeah, twin or triple? Yeah, awesome. So this is, I don't know if your parents ever did this, but this is just like a brilliant hack. It's like, oh man, I can't tell you apart. So twin 1 and twin 2. Okay, toilet paper. Do you remember that? There were riots in Chicago and Detroit over toilet paper. It was nuts. So a little hack, parents during COVID, they're like, no, you get to pull it right here, 3 squares. That's it. This is more like a lazy dad. Hey, Dad, come swing with me. He's like, just tie the string on, sit back with my Diet Dr. Pepper and just pull it. Okay, how many of you have kids? Some of you have kids. Yeah, you're going to get to the point you're going to have a minivan. I said I'd never have a minivan. We had a minivan. And this is brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, these kids, they didn't even know how they had siblings until they were like 6. They're like, holy cow, there's someone actually over there on the other side of that. Okay, this one's a little bit creepy. You're putting your baby, down for a nap, putting them to bed, you start patting them, and then all of a sudden you do the bait and switch and you leave this glove that's filled with rice or beans or something on there, and it's like taken off. You go on Pinterest and it shows you step by step and all kinds of beans to use, and so you don't even have to be a parent. You just make your kid feel loved. You don't even have to love them anymore. You just make them feel loved. Okay, everybody needs one of these, out of order sign. Just keep it in your purse or in your wallet, in your backpack. Put it on your room, put it on your door, put it on the fridge at home. This is a multi-purpose sign. I think this is a brilliant hack. Okay, one of my favorites. How many of you have a stash? I love peanut M&Ms. That's my go-to, man. Snickers. No child or roommate is going to look in the frozen edamame bag for like, I wonder if there's a treat in here. No one ever does that, do they? So great little hacks. Okay, so we've had crazy the last 5 years. It's honest, and then politically and all kinds of stuff is happening in our world. And it's been some bitter times, honestly. So how do we become better? That's why I've looked at the science behind all of this. And I'm going to talk about some happy hacks. So 3 types of happiness. When we talk about happiness, often what we think about is the pleasant life. This is from Martin Seligman, kind of the father of positive psychology. He says, oh yeah, this is like pizza and Netflix, the woohoo type of adrenaline rush, going to Lagoon and that type of a fun feeling. That's the first type of happiness. Second type he calls the good life. This is about using your strengths. This is about maybe journaling or getting lost in that state of flow. You're so immersed. Maybe you're going skiing. I snowboard. It's just like losing track of time because you're so immersed in what you're doing. And the third type he calls the meaningful life. The meaningful life, much different. It's never about you. It's about donating some of maybe your time or your talents, your gifts, your abilities to help. It's donating blood or volunteering for a cause or watching someone's kids or taking cookies over to a neighbor. That's a different type of happiness. It feels different even. Okay, it's the Greeks, they define happiness as really the joy you feel striving toward your potential. I love that definition of happiness. The joy you feel striving toward your potential. So it's not necessarily the woohoo feeling, although it can have that, but it's this journey, this happiness you experience in the journey itself. So previous thinking on happiness was this. Happiness is the reward we get for doing our best. For example, if I work really hard at being a parent, then I'll be successful and then I'll be happy. If I work really hard in my relationship or in my job or at school as students if I work really, really hard, and then I'll get an A on this paper, and then I'll be able to graduate, and then I'll be happy. Finally, like after these 4, 6, 8 years, I'll finally be happy. It was always happiness at the end. Just work, 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 work. Then you can relax, and then you can be happy. Whereas new research on positive psychology, neuroscience shows that it actually works the other way around. When you're happy and positive first, you'll remember more. You'll do better on your tests. Yeah, you'll sleep better. If you take care of your body first, then all of the success and the outcomes will tend to follow. So it's not happiness just at the end of the day. You're like, whew, got through that day, now I'm happy. But when you're happy, positivity, it actually fuels all the other outcomes in your life. So it's different, a different way of thinking. Okay, where does happiness come from? About half of the difference in one person's happiness and another person's happiness is honestly it's genetic. It's so you can thank or curse your parents, but only for about half of the happiness. So where does the other half come from? Well, about 10% is your outside circumstances. That's how much money's in your account, what kind of car you drive, and how fancy your apartment is, and all this stuff that you have only accounts for about 10%. Even in relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, spouse, isn't that crazy? They're only about 10% because we get used to things really easy. You get a new purse, new pair of shoes, get some Lulus, and then it's like, oh, this is awesome. Until like 2 days later, and it's old news again. We get used to things really quick, called hedonic adaptation. We adapt to stuff. Christmas, woo! A couple days later, it's like the worst day ever. It's like, oh man, it doesn't last very long. So I'm going to talk about the 40% of the pie, and that is you're intentional. More things that you have control of. Your thinking, your thoughts, your actions, behaviors, things that you have a lot more control of. Don't have much control of your genetics. A little bit over your circumstances here, but a lot more on your thoughts and your actions. So here's the 8 words, friends. These are the 8 words. In my mind, someone says, all right, Dr. Dave, what's the key to happiness? I'd be like, all right, 8 words. Search inward, turn outward, look upward, and press forward. And so I'll talk about each of those areas and some of the science and actual practical things you can do right now to increase your happiness in those. That's the four areas. Okay, first, search inward. First thing, discover and using your strengths. If someone says, man, how do I improve my happiness? I would say you got to start with what you're good at. Look inside. It's searching inward, not in a selfish way, but search inward. What are your strengths? So here is, I make my students do this. You can do it if you'd like. Extra credit. Paul, Dr. Schwaneveld said, extra credit? No, he didn't. He didn't really say that. But just take it anyway. It's going to kick out your top 5 signature strengths. These are not things like singing and dancing. These are things like compassion and mercy and curiosity and humor and kindness and gratitude and spirituality. Those types of things. It'll kick out your top 5. Then, what did I do? I'm glad you asked. I printed them out and I put them on a piece of paper and I taped it to the bottom of my computer screen. Every single day, I see my strengths because they're taped to the bottom of my computer screen. So, the secret here, number 1, the happiest people on this whole planet, they know their strengths and they use their strengths regularly. Unhappy people, they focus on their weaknesses. Focus on your strengths, manage your weaknesses. That's key number 1. Okay, live true to your core 4. Somewhat like strengths, but a little bit different. Values. These are not things that you value. These are attributions of the person that you want to be. Think, okay, it's going to turn grim real quick, but all of us in this room, spoiler, we're all going to die, okay? We're all going to make it out of here alive. You're all going to die. So think, if the person, a traditional funeral, someone's going to get up there and they're going to talk about you, probably cry. Now, if they can only describe you and your character in your life in 4 words, like what 4 characteristics, does that make sense? Do you want them to talk to you about? For example, here are some, this is not an exhaustive list, but here are a list of some values. For example, I don't want someone to get up and be like, Dr. Dave, right? And take a peek over at my casket and be like, man, he was so frugal. I mean, what? I might just come right up out of my casket and be like, what? Are you calling me cheap? Right? Now, that's an important one, but I don't want to be known for being frugal. I just don't. If not in my core 4. So my core 4, I'll tell you right now, they spell the word CHAP, C-H-A-P. Compassion, humility, appreciation, and positivity. I want to be known the end of my life is someone who was kind and loving and grateful and humble and a positive, happy person in life. That's what I want them to say. So if those are my core 4, and the happiest people on this planet, they strive to align their behaviors with their values. The closer you can do that, friends, you will be happy in this life. Because if this is the type of person you want to be, but man, yeah, it's called the guilt gap. Here's your behavior. I want to be kind, but I just told my roommate off and I just yelled at him or whatever. And so, oh, you weren't kind. So here's a gap. That's okay. All of us have a gap called the guilt gap, not the shame slide. The shame slide, don't go there. That'll take you in a place you don't want to go. The guilt gap is actually good. The guilt gap is, hey, man, I messed up and I yelled or I flipped off this driver or whatever it is, and I shouldn't have done it. So now I feel guilty. Now I need to try to be better. So your whole goal in life is to align your behavior. You're going to slip. You're going to slip like every day. You're not going to, oh man, I want to do this or that. The closer you can align that over time, then you'll be happier. Okay? Does that make sense? So, but you got to know your values first and then try to align your behaviors with your values. Boom, happiness. Okay, so under stress, here's the principle. Act on your 4, not on your feelings. So already you're going to identify your 5 signature strengths. You're going to identify your core 4. And then you're going to strive to use your strengths, live true to your values. Okay, the big 3. Man, this is hard, especially in college. Eat right, sleep right, rest right, eat better. Those really are core, foundational. Because if you're not sleeping well, man, forget about school or studying or anything else. When you don't have sleep is like the foundation of everything in life. You're not sleeping well, it's going to affect everything else. You're not eating well, it's going to affect your mood. You're not exercising, boom, you're going to feel sluggish. All those things. So foundationally, do a little bit in these areas and it will boost your overall happiness. You'll be a happier person to be around as well. Okay, comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. Maybe you've heard that saying. I love that. Because here's the kicker. The key is search inward, turn outward. That's the first 4 words, right? Okay, do you want to know the recipe for misery in this life? I call it Hollywood happiness. It's not true. All you have to do is flip those 2 words. All you have to do is flip 2 words. If you want misery, then you search outward and you turn inward. Does that make sense? It's that fat. Happiness is searching inward and turning outward. Misery is searching outward. I gotta have this or this, and look at me and selfie and influencer and all this stuff. And then ultimately you will turn inward. You will. Because here's the principle. You'll never get enough of what you don't need, because what you don't need will never satisfy you. Did you hear that? You'll never get enough of what you don't need. Shoes and purses or this and cars and phones and all that. You'll never get enough of it. You'll always be chasing it. If you don't need it, you'll never get enough of it. Okay. Meditation. How many of you meditators, mindfulness, yogis? Yeah. So this stuff's been around for 2,000 years. But only recently, in the last 25, 30 years, have they actually shown that it increases the thickness of the gray matter in your prefrontal cortex. It's like, what the corn is that? You want thick gray matter right here. That's the part of the brain that is like patience, compassion. I can see another person's perspective. And people who slow down and take some breaths and meditate in mindfulness, slow down their lives, it actually increases the thickness of the gray matter right here. And you really want thick gray matter. So, yeah, there's a lot of science behind this. Really good stuff. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, raise your hands if you're just in the, however many, 22 minutes I've been yakking, that your mind has wandered even a little bit. You've maybe looking up here, but your mind has wandered off to somewhere. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just raise your hand. I want you to be honest. Raise your hand. Okay. Some of you are lying. Yeah. Those who didn't raise your hand, you're not telling the truth. How do I know that? Because 47% of the time when you're engaged in an activity, you're thinking about something other than actually what you're doing. Here's the research on this. Holy smokes. It ranges from grooming, self-care. How many of you are like, yeah, you're taking a shower or whatever, you're like, wow, this armpit is really clean today. No, that's weird. Don't do that. No one does that. Your mind tends to wander, doesn't it? In the shower, or you're putting on makeup, or you're doing your hair or whatever. Yeah, your mind wanders. Okay, commuting. How many of you ever gotten home from school, or you've been to work or something? And you're like, holy crap, how did I get here? Your mind's wandering a lot. Yeah, and everybody else on the road is doing it too. We're all just zombies who don't know what we're doing. Okay, listening to music, doing housework, working. You're not working. About half the time you're thinking about something else that's going on in your life. Your mind wanders a ton. Taking care of kids, reading, eating, exercise, talking. You're talking to your roommate, you're talking to your friends, talking to someone in class. About a third of the time, you're not catching what they're laying down, man, because your mind's kind of wandering. So once in a while, just throw in my grandma, she went to the moon last week. It was crazy. And just see if they're paying attention or if they're like, oh, no way, that's cool. Okay? And you'll be like, you aren't even listening. Okay. Now, Zoom. Zoom's not on here, but how often does your mind wander in Zoom? Be honest. Be honest. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just guessing it's north of like 98% of the time. Our mind wanders a lot, okay? So why am I sharing all this? Because a wandering mind tends to be an unhappy mind. Because where do we tend to wander when our minds wander? Either the future or the past. Stuff that's coming up that I've got this test, or the stuff I shouldn't have said this, or I should have said this when my boyfriend and I got in this argument. And all that. Yeah, we think about the past or my mom and our relationship, or the future. That's where it tends to wander, is to the corners. So one of the keys to happiness is enjoy and pay attention to the present moment. Enjoy who you're with and what you're doing right now. I know in this stage of life, it's like, man, I don't have any money, and I live with people I don't like, and I'm studying, don't know what my major is, and I'm on poverty level. And it's like, yeah, Dave, you enjoy this. Okay, I did, right? I did this we did this for 10 years. But man, some of my best memories, honestly, living in a trailer up at Utah State. It was awesome. Awesome. So learn to enjoy your day. The happiest people on this planet have learned to enjoy their day, of where they're at, who they're with. Okay, for example, all of us experience emotions in the present moment. You're like, duh, Dr. Dave, right? When else would you experience an emotion? Okay, stick with me. Many of our emotions are anchored in the past or in the future. For example, look at those past emotions. I can be angry about something, but it's almost always in the past. You know, something upsets me, and then I can stew on it, and it's where? It's in the past, isn't it? Okay, sadness, even. I think about a dog that has died. Anyone ever have a pet that has passed away? Yeah, it's like traumatic, man. We had that guy for 9 years. And I can think about it or look at pictures, and I can make myself cry, you guys, just by looking at Max. Whew. It happened 9 years, right? Or it happened 3 years ago. But sadness, I experience it now, but it happened in the past. So please don't misunderstand me. What I'm not saying is you should never, these are evil emotions. Don't ever, awful, they'll rob you of the, no. I'm not saying that at all. When you are sad, be all in sad, ugly cry. It's okay. Be with that emotion. Don't be like, I just need to smile and get through this. No. Be with those emotions. That's okay. Just don't set up camp in the past. Does that make sense? You can choose to look in the rear view mirror of life, but just choose not to stare too long. Okay? It's okay to look there. Okay, what about future emotions? Holy smokes. Stress. Anyone have stress or worry? Anxiety? Yeah, that's like the plague of your guys' day is the future stuff. You guys spend a lot of your emotional time in your head right here, don't you? You do. You spend a lot right here. So now what I'm saying is, no, you should never be anxious, never. No, just be aware that you are. Be like, take a breath. Be like, okay, man, I need to take a break. I can actually feel my heart rate increasing right now. Or I've got all this stuff coming up. Yes, you do. And you're going to live, most likely, right? You're going to live. So if you're focused on your mind's wandering to the past or the future, what do we tend to miss out on? Bam! Life. That's what's happening right now. Right now. Joy and happiness, surprise and trust and calmness and satisfaction. All that is happening right now. Does that make sense? So if you are stuck always in the past or always worrying about the future, you can't think about all these things at the same time. So just learn, pay attention to your emotions. Don't just let them wander. Catch yourself. That's mindfulness, is to catch yourself. Bring yourself back to right now. Okay, I love this quote. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches, your mind is like a piece of land planted with many different kinds of seeds. Seeds of joy, peace, mindfulness, understanding, and love. Seeds of craving, anger, and the fear, that's the future, hate and forgetfulness. These many different kinds of seeds are always there, sleeping in the soil of your mind. Then he says the quality of your life depends on the seeds you water. Oh man, that's good. If you plant tomato seeds in your gardens, tomatoes will grow. unless you live in Cache Valley, right? It's just so if you water a seed of peace in your mind, peace will grow. When the seeds of happiness in you are watered, you'll become happy. When the seed of anger in you is watered, you'll become angry. And he says the seeds that are watered frequently are those that grow strong. When I first read that, I had to put the book down. I was blown away. It's like, holy smokes, I'm the one with the watering can. Yeah, someone can't make me mad or do this or that. And if I want to get really stewed up about something or someone, I'm so irritated, all I have to do is just keep watering that. It'll grow. I just keep watering it, but I'm the one holding the can. So it was very empowering to me to be like, oh, all these emotions and stuff. It's me. It's me watering these seeds. We have the seeds there. The quality of your life depends on the seeds that you water. Boom, don't forget that. Okay, turn outward. So search inward is always about you, not in a selfish sense, okay? That's like discover what are your gifts and talents and strengths. And then turn outward is all about using those to do good and to help others and to use those gifts and talents and strengths. Gratitude, outward. I love this. We know from studies that gratitude helps us recover from loss and trauma. I know you guys have experienced loss and trauma in your lives. It helps us to deal with the slow drip of everyday stress, as well as the massive personal upheavals in the face of, then he goes off, suffering and pain and loss and trial and tribulations. Gratitude is absolutely essential. It's part of our psychological immune system. What? Holy smokes. So it doesn't mean if you're grateful the bad things don't happen to you. You still will. You'll have all this cruddy stuff that's going to happen in your life. But we're more likely to bounce back. It's like taking your vitamin C and essential oils and all this stuff that Utahns now take to keep themselves healthy. It doesn't mean you're not going to get sick, but you will be more resilient when you fill your life with good stuff and when you feel grateful. Find things to be grateful for. Okay, here's a little list. These are all science-backed practices that you can try. 3 good things. That's simply at the end of the day, you write down 3 good things that happened that day and why they happened. Boom. Easy. Top 10 people, places, experiences, and things. Oh man, if you had more time, would have a piece of paper and you just draw 4 quadrants and you put people, places, experiences, and things. Did you know that's all you can be grateful for? People, places, experiences, and things. And then you start jotting down your top 10 or top 20 people in your life you're so grateful for, experiences you're so grateful that you had, places that you've been to or visited, and stuff. Maybe it's your phone, right? Maybe it's your car, whatever it is, and put that stuff on there because as you're doing this, who are you not thinking about? You're not thinking about you. Yeah, no one has put at the top of their list of people, me, I'm grateful for me. Yeah, no, that's weird. Don't do that. No, it's always, gratitude is always outward. And then you take a look at your list and you be like, all right, I'm going to write a letter. Or I'm going to send an email. Or I'm going to give a phone call to somebody. And you say, who needs to hear from me right now? And you call up that person. You let them know how much they mean to you. Get a tissue because you're gonna have tears. This one's a good one. Or visit them in person is the best. The research has shown if you can sit and read a letter out loud to them, super powerful, super powerful. Okay, happy thoughts are the best. So we grew up doing this in the Schramm fam. We have 4 kids, and at the end of each day, we'd come together and we would share before we went to bed one thing that made us happy. And I would go, my wife, and each of our 4 kids, and we would hopefully train their brains about what they're grateful for that day, what they did. They could share around the dinner table or on the way to soccer practice, getting in the habit of sharing the good things because then your brain is wired to find the good things. If our kids knew that they're going to share something that night, then their brains would go back and they would find the good and then they verbalize it as well. Okay, mental subtraction, go back to that list and you just mentally subtract. What would my life be like without my mom, my grandma, my sister, my dog? And you just mentally subtract. Just that exercise can help you to feel more gratitude. What would my life be like without? And then, okay, this is where you pull out your phones. Okay, pull out your phones. This is kind of dangerous here, but pull out your phones. Check your Instagram because you're going to do that real quick anyway. Okay, and then after that, what I want you to do is I want you to think in your mind, so this is the first step, who needs a text from me? That's all I want you to say in your mind is who needs a text from me right now? And then just pause and notice the nudges and follow the feelings, okay? Who needs a text? And then just send that person a text. It's your mom, it's your grandma, it's a roommate, something, and be very specific, okay? Don't be like, hey, bruh, I love you, or whatever, okay? Actually be like, hey, we need to do lunch sometime, or hey, I just need to pause and thank you for this, or hey, I'm just checking in. I heard your mom's in the hospital or your dad's going through cancer treatments, and you just came to my mind. I just want to let you know, yeah, what a great friend you are, okay? Or whatever it is, or express love to somebody. So pull out your phones. Like, really, this is legit. Okay, pull out your phone. Now send a text to somebody. Who is it that came to your mind? Who needs a text from me right now? And don't be like, this guy, he's making me text you, so I love you, you're cool. Yeah, don't do that, because then it's fake. Okay, send somebody a text. Just check in. I should take a picture of this and send it to my wife and be like, honey, Weber State was awful. They were on their phones the whole time, man. They were on their phones the whole time. They wouldn't get off their phones. Okay, if you want to be happier in this life, just do this a couple times a week. I call it text 2 before 10. Text 2 people before 10 a.m. Just a text message, just to check in. Just, hey. Has your parents ever heard these words from you? Hey, I just want to let you know that I absolutely love being your daughter. Have they ever heard that? It's different. I love you, love your guts, love your buns. It gets a little like repetitive and like, oh, okay, yeah. They hear it maybe too much. Some of them not enough. But have they ever heard your dad? Have you ever been like, hey, Dad, I just want to let you know that I love you so much. And I absolutely love being your son or your daughter. Okay? You might get a text message like, you okay? Right, you good? Yeah, because they've never heard that out of your mouth. Just text it. I'm telling you, if you want to be happier, turn outward. Just text 2 before 10. Put it in your phone to come up like 8 o'clock in the morning, not too early, and then just find someone to text. It'll make their day and it'll make your day. I promise you, you'll be happier. And that person will be happier. Just turn outward, text. Okay, so I've done this all over the whole country. And having a great time at my conference. It makes me realize what a special family we have. Love you both. And Greg's like, who is this? Wrong number, lady. Okay, so you may need to text that person a little bit more often if you get a text that's like, what do you want? Or whatever. Okay, hi, sweetie. Just think about how sweet and kind you are. Who is this? Your husband. Is this meeting that dull and uninteresting? Okay, so, yeah, if you're getting one of these, then you might need to text your parents a little bit more often than once every never, okay? Check in. Check in with people. Texting is one of the easiest ways, and it takes under 30 seconds, but it's the fastest way to become happy. Okay, here it is. The science behind it now. Random acts of kindness. I call it RACs. Random acts of kindness. This one right here is the number one. If you want to be happy in this life, Seligman said this, doing a kind act produces the single most reliable momentary increase in well-being of any exercise we have ever tested. Okay? Like that will increase happiness faster than anything they've ever tested. They've been doing tests for like 30 years. Kindness, kindness, kindness. Okay, what is it that keeps us alive in this life? I'm glad you asked. So this is actually a researcher at BYU several years ago. This is not an exhaustive list because there's like hundreds of things that keep us alive. But this is kind of gives you a little sample. Clean air, not a big predictor unless you're, again, inversion or Cache Valley. Hypertension treatment, being lean versus overweight. Isn't that interesting? It's not as strong as it used to be back in the day. Exercise. Actually, other studies have shown exercise is probably further down here. Cardiac rehab, the flu, move past that one. Quick drinking, quitting smoking. It's so like controversial if you even say the V word, right? Okay, what are the top 2 predictors of how long and how well you're going to live in this life? Oh, man, I would be interested to know. What is it? Okay, close relationships is number 2. What's number 1? Man, get ready to take a picture and send it to your parents. Quitting online shopping is the number 1 predictor. No, just kidding. But take a picture and send it to your mom or your sister and be like, dude, you're going to die, this professor says. If you don't, you got to get off Amazon or Pinterest or whatever. You're not going to make it very long. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. It's really not that. Just seeing if you're paying attention. It's actually social integration. You're like, what? I don't get what's the difference in the last two. Okay, close relationships, using the COVID terms. All the people that you are quarantined with. Do you remember that? All the people that you're just like beaten up and couldn't stand after a couple weeks. Social integration, all the peeps you couldn't see because you were quarantined. That's your friends and religious folks and stuff. That's all, the people at school and professors and all that other stuff. All the groups and clubs and roommates, that's social integration. Does that make sense? So quarantine versus social integration. Okay, it's about relationships. This life is about people. It's about connections. Understand, never forget, people are more important than problems. Okay? Get that tattooed on you. People are more important than problems. Just remember that. It's about people, relationships. Okay, looking upward. Okay, we tend to notice and we tend to find and notice whatever we're looking for. That's the principle. If you're looking for the negative in a situation or a professor or a roommate or a situation, you'll always find what you're looking for. You'll always find. Complainers will always find things to complain about. Grateful people will always be able to see the silver lining. They'll see it. So that's the principle. Looking up with positivity and optimism, you will find it. Okay, here's the principle as well. We're born into this life with 5 times as many neurons or brain cells. They're wired for negativity and threat. For every 1 brain cell that is wired for opportunity and positivity. So already, we're negative Nellies, like right to begin with. Because we're wired to just find, the negative and the threats and the stuff. For example, how many of you saw the mistake? Raise your hand. Did you see the mistake? And you're like, dude, I'm so embarrassed for him. He misspelled mistake. He's got a mistake up there. Okay, I did that on purpose because your brains are actually wired to notice mistakes in other people and flaws and like, oh man, that doesn't match. Or, oh man, your hair's out of place. Or, oh, you got a zit right there. We find things that are negative all the time. We don't even have to search for it. Negativity just comes so easily. You go out, right, in your big green grass and you notice the brown spot. We notice negative stuff in other people. So here it is. We're drawn more to imperfections than we are to the positive qualities. That means you have to search 5 times as hard to find the good in other people, in situations, and in school, and everything in life, because you're going to be drawn to the negative without anything. You don't even have to search for it. You will see it and you'll find it. You have to actually search for the good, notice the good, pause when you find the good, celebrate the good. The happiest people on this planet, they celebrate the small wins. They celebrate the small wins. They look for the good. They find the good in people. They compliment others. Okay, part of this is dedicating a little portion of your life to something that is bigger and higher than you. So it could be religiously, it could be donating blood. I have a good friend who found out it was National Crossing Guard Appreciation Day one day. Do you guys even know that existed? I had no idea that was actually a thing. But he did. And he took his kids out of school and he went and he got some snacks and waters and stuff. And you know what they did? They drove around and find out the crossing guards in town. And they're like, hey, they didn't know. The crossing guards didn't even know it was Appreciation Day. But they got a little gift. Now, their kids are going to remember that far longer than they remembered their multiple, whatever they're missing, their fractions in class, won't they? They'll remember that. Serve something bigger than you. And you'll be happy. That's part of that looking upward. Oh, man. This is my baby granddaughter, you guys. Can you guys believe I'm a grandpa? Holy cow. She's 6 months old now. She's so stinking cute. How many grandkids? None right now? Okay, it's like the best, you guys. And everyone says, you grandparents? Yes? How many? 2. Yeah. Man, baby Navy, she lights my world up. I love her, absolutely love her. But this transcendence, this sense of awe, this inspiration. How many of you ever looked up at the sky one night, or you've seen something, or you've traveled, and I don't know, whether it's a Grand Canyon or something just beautiful, sunsets, rainbow stuff. You just see it, and you just take time to pause. Don't rush past it. When you see something that makes you pause and like, that is awesome. Awe is actually something that people study and write books about. Awesome. Slow down. Here it is. Happiest people in this life, they don't rush through things. They notice, they pause, they're attuned, awareness of what's going on. And then they just soak it all in and be like, yeah, life is good right now. This is awesome. This feeling, I wish I could just bottle up. So pay attention, whether it's the sky or the road, the surroundings, things around you. That's what the happiest people on the planet do. Be aware of what's going on. Okay, how many of you are morning people? Morning people, raise your hand. Okay, let's excuse them all. Just go, you guys. Just kidding. I'm not a morning person. Okay, and I can tell the others. A lot of college students are not morning people. You stay up till 3 a.m. and then you sleep till 11 or whatever. Okay, now I'm a morning. There I am. Now I'm a morning person. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm still not. But my wife is. How you start your day? Oh, I don't know why I have shopping pinners. That's from another one. Exercise. Yoga, reading, prayer, doing something that is positive, meditation. If you start your day that way, instead of how do most of us start your day? The death scroll. Yeah, the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's like dead, and you're going to die just scrolling through. Try something else. Try texting 2 before 10. Try watching a positive, happy, just type in on YouTube, random acts of kindness. Holy smokes. You'll be in tears again. Look for the good. Start your way with something good, because how you start your day affects the rest of your day. It does. It totally does. Okay, and pressing forward. Oh man. In life, you have 2 circles. Here they are. You have things that matter, and there's things that you can control. And where those overlap, the happiest people on the planet, they focus on that little black part that's overlapped. Okay? Things that really matter, things that I can control. And when I was your age, man, those circles were like really big. I thought that everything mattered. When my favorite football team lost, I was like so upset, Ryan, for like 3 days. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, that ref, and why did they run this? And holy smokes, why would you do that on 4th down? I was so chapped. Yeah, it happened on Saturday and I was chapped for 3 days. Yeah, I just thought that really, really mattered. And now the older I get, those circles are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And my mom, she lives in Payson. Do you guys know where Payson is? Good old Payson, Utah. Yeah, Southern Utah County. That's where I was born and raised. And my mom, she's going through liver cancer right now. Her circles of what really matters is like this big. Honestly, it's not all this other stuff. It's not politics, nothing. It's right. It's like family and health and people and relationships. Yeah, that's what really matters in life. And then you take that how much can she control? She can't control a whole lot. She goes in for a monthly shot that helps the cancer from growing and spreading. But that's about all that she can control. She can control her attitude. She can control her actions, her diet, and sleep, all those things. That's what she can control. So I'm telling you, focus on what really matters and what you can control. A lot of the stuff you just can't control. So don't stress about it. Okay, and then you're going to have all kinds of challenges in life. I'm telling you right now, a lot of you have had some pretty humdinger things happen already. Background, family, growing up, neighborhoods, tough stuff that has happened. Your challenges and stuff come really in 3 areas. Your circumstances, maybe how you grew up, your family, there was abuse or there's stuff, or this is cancer or COVID or car accident stuff that's just your circumstances. The weather, an earthquake happens, stuff is going to happen that you have like no control over. Okay, other stuff's going to happen in your life, and it's going to be some jerks. They're just going to come along. They're going to say or do things. They're going to be mean, and they're just mean people in the world. And other people's choices, and it's going to cause you problems. Whether that is a boss or a coworker, and there's just like, they rub me the wrong way. Yes, they do. So other people can be really mean, and that's going to cause some heartache. A lot of the struggles and stuff you get into, though, are honestly our choices. So if you focus, you have a lot more control on your choices than you do others' choices and circumstances. So focus on what really matters, what you can control, and your own choices. Boom, happiness. Okay, resources. Hopefully, this is ABCX. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Like family, yeah. So a lot of you have been exposed to this stuff. ABCX is essentially this, the resources. Where can you turn in times of struggles? So stressors are going to happen. Happiest people, they turn to their resources. That is people or projects or journals or pets or faith or whatever that is. They turn to these to help them through that. That's what they studied with COVID. Some did this and some did this. And a lot of what separated those two groups are the resources. It was the relationships. It was the people, and the perspective, and how they're able to manage and cope with that. Boom, turning to those resources. So I hope this has been helpful. Search inward, turn outward, look upward, and press forward. That's the science of resilience and positivity and happiness for your whole life. Really, it comes down to these areas. Okay, some people have said like, oh, Dave, can you recommend books in this area? I really love this area. So these are some, I call them Dave's faves, some of my favorites in this area by some of the well-known scholars and things. Now, I think most of these are just down to earth. They're not like, oh man, this is really thick. I can't even understand what they're saying here. No, these are written for lay audiences. So this is my favorite list on happiness, positivity, upward spiral. Best books I've ever read on kind of this habits and depression, anxiety, or Unwinding Anxiety by Judd Brewer, and The Upward Spiral by Alex Korb. So those are some of my faves. So there are resources. There's so much good information out there. I mean, ChatGPT, yeah, it'll give you some good information. But man, yeah, some of these scholars, super good in this area. I wanted to point out some of these free. We don't make any money on this. Part of what I do with USU Extension and why I love my job is I get to take the research and all this information, and then I get to develop it and put it out there in ways that I hope are helpful. Man, we're on our 4th season already of Stronger Marriage Connection, the podcast. We actually hit #1 marriage podcast in Utah. So that's Dr. Liz and I, episodes come out Monday morning. All kinds of top, like 160 episodes or something, all kinds of stuff to help relationships. And then during COVID, where were people? You're on your phones, man. You're on your phones. And so I decided I'm going to do all kinds of short little tips on happiness and parenting and relationships and put it on YouTube because I knew that's where people were. So all kinds of resources. You can get strongermarriage.org, and there's webinars and there's articles and e-courses. It's all free, all free. Okay, let me pause right here. How many of you, check your phones, got a text back from the person that you texted earlier? Yeah, raise your hand. I want to see them. Raise them. Yeah, check your phones real quick. Oh, look. Yeah, this is awesome. Now, did anybody get kind of like a humorous one that they don't mind sharing? They're like, oh, yeah, it's not quite the response that I thought I was going to get. You don't have to. Anyone get anything? Okay, how long did that take you to do, that text? It's like 15 seconds, right? Can you imagine? If you just, every morning, you're just like, who needs a text from me today? And you just, boom, follow that, send it to somebody. Boom, former teachers or colleagues, people that you know in your life. Just send them a text, just check in with people. You will never regret checking in with somebody and sending kindness, gratitude, love, appreciation. You'll never regret that. So do more of those little things, and it'll bring that happiness in your life. Okay, I'm going to end with this. Our kids, I was at the University of Missouri, and our kids were 8, 6, 4, and 2. Okay, and already that is just like, that's busy time of life, you guys. Yeah, 8, 6, 4, and 2-year-olds. So my wife, she stayed home with them, and I came home one day, and she's like, honey, I've had it. They're all yours. And she went to her room, our room, and she shut the door. And I was like, okay, I dropped my bag. And I'm like, all right, guys, we got this. So mom needs some time alone. So we did like mac and cheese or PBJs or something really simple. And then tubby time. And we dried them off, lotion time, brush teeth, and story time, and that whole thing, getting them ready for bed. And then I'm tucking them in their beds later that night. And, hey, I love you so much. Hey, Kay, listen, stay in your bed tonight. No coming out, all right? And I was, the fun, happy dad at first. And then they keep coming out. You guys are going to find this out. Yeah, they keep coming out. I'm like, okay, guys. And I found out there's a couple words you just don't say. Don't write these down because you're going to forget. You're like, what were those words again? You never say, I mean it and I'm serious, okay? Never say that to your kids. I mean it. You stay in your room right now. No, I'm serious. I'm serious this time. No more coming out. I mean it. Okay. We just repeat that over and over. I mean it and I'm serious. And they learn in like kindergarten, those are the key words that they're not really serious. So we're just going to keep going, right? So they keep coming out, and then I'm starting to lose it a little bit. And I'm like, no more. but I need a drink. Oh my gosh. And so I got a gallon jug and a stack of Dixie cups. And I'm like, all right, drink station's right here. Come get a drink and go to bed, okay? No more coming out. So what do? They keep coming out, dang it. So I was really frustrated. I'm losing my temper, losing my cool. It's like 10 times they keep coming out. Finally, and I said something that I regret to this day. Have you guys ever said anything that you regret? Nobody? I've never either. Yeah, never. No, so they come out and then I regret this. This is not good parenting, you guys. I said, $20 bill for anybody who stays in their bed, okay? I know, horrible parenting, right? And they're like, let's go, right? So I'm like, yeah, stay in your beds, dang it. Okay, and then I go back to our room and I open the door. My wife's, sitting on and watch TV. And I was like, stay in your bed. Don't say anything. She's like, oh, it's going that good. Okay, so then I shut the door and I'm like, I'm done being a parent too. They can do what they want, just don't burn down the house. And then you guys, like 5 minutes later, guess what I heard? I heard these footsteps coming down the hall toward our bedroom door. And that's when I got off the bed. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I walked right over to the door and I heard the sound on the door. I was like, what is that? And I barked, get back to your room. And our daughter just goes running back. I heard the footsteps. I opened the door. There's a note she taped to the door. She wrote this note. She taped it on. And then she booked it back. And I peel it off. And I go and I read it to my wife. You guys, this is the actual note. The picture of the actual note that she wrote, that our 8-year-old. And she says this. She says, thanks a lot. I know it can be hard being a mom or dad, but you got to stick with it. I just remember thinking, holy crap. Like, man, right? Holy cow, 10 years of school, I'm supposed to be this parenting professional and stuff, and I'm just totally blowing it. And then it says, you see this, it says, look on back. I'm like, what? So I turn the note over, and it says, don't worry, we still love you. It's like, oh, geez, right? So, okay, you guys, you're gonna do a lot of crazy, you're gonna have like rough times and stuff in relationships and all kinds of struggles and stresses and stuff in your life. But I'm telling you, if you will learn to search inward, turn outward, boom, look upward, and keep pressing forward through the challenges, joy and happiness and peace, it's there. You still will have struggles and stuff. And then when all else fails, man, you got to stick with it, right? Sticking with it. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope that you'll be able to take some things, take them out now, and you apply them in your own life and your own relationships, and hopefully you will have a happier life. Thank you. Questions? Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah. I got started a little bit late. I'm happy to hang around as long as anybody wants to hang around. Full of questions. Students are always full of questions. Yeah, anything? Who's happier now? Did you learn anything? Okay, I'm gonna ask. Can I ask them a question? Sure. What stood out? What did you write down? What are you gonna do more of or less of? What was the tip you're like, I really like that, and I'm going to try that, Dr. Dave?
You want gray matter.
Yes, you want gray matter. It's right here. It's right here. You'll be more patient and empathetic and compassionate, see another perspective. It's just slowing down, mindfulness, breathing, meditation. It's facts. Like 8 weeks, and they had thicker gray matter. It was crazy. Okay, what else? What are you going to do? Yes. And who's holding the can? The watering can. Yeah, it's like right here. Boom, yeah, watering those seeds. Good. What else? Yeah.
I like the past feelings and the future feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that wild? Has everyone ever actually thought, whoa, our feelings we experience all of them now, but they're anchored in different places. And when your minds wander, they tend to go to the past or the future. Just be mindfully aware of your feelings. Don't just let them do whatever they do. Yeah, good. Thanks. What else? What'd you write down? What are you going to do? Yeah, man. Love it. Yes. Optimism. And because you're going to find whatever you're looking for. If you're finding, all the bad stuff, you'll find it. But there's good stuff out there too. Yeah, love it. Good. What else?
Gratitude journal works.
They actually do. And the studies behind them, really powerful. My daughter, she actually has 3 different journals. It's like, whoa. Yeah, that's a little extreme, but hey, she loves it. And she has like a gratitude one, and I can't remember all the others. But yeah, actually going through, because it causes you to think back. What is it that I need today? Or what am I grateful for? Yeah, good. Anyone else? Okay.
Thank you.